What's going on, everybody? It's Friday. It's Friday. So excited, guys. I'm so excited to watch this. And I'm sure some of you have already watched this, so don't spoil it for me, okay? Don't spoil it for me. Is it good? I mean, like, tell me if it's decent or not. Nothing other than that. Just if it's good. So Joshua Carr, he just posted, like, I don't even know, 20 minutes ago on Twitter, just a little like clip of him talking about the rules for his investigation into Candace Owens. So I want to watch that first before I pull up the video and see. Just gonna wait a minute here. Let some people stroll on in. How's everybody's Friday going so far? Chill? Did you guys have a good Friday? Was it a bad Friday? Is there such thing as a bad Friday? I mean, that's not a real thing, right? Nobody has bad Fridays. All Fridays are great. All Fridays are great. This is really hard because I just want to chill for a minute and let everybody come in, but I also want to get into this like right now. I've been looking forward to this all day. All day. Samurai 25 says, not bad. Hope you had a good day. I did. I had a very busy day. Very busy day. I'm still drinking coffee. So it's been a day. Been a day. Plus, I wanted to keep my energy up for this because I have a feeling I'm going to have some opinions either way on this episode. He's doing multiple, right? It's not just one episode. Julie Ray says, great Friday. Awesome. Good to hear. Good to hear. A little bit of time says, I took tomorrow off. It's an extra good Friday. Yeah. Fridays are way better when you don't have to do anything on Saturdays. That is for sure. Ex-favorite daughter says, I was hoping others found out about Josh's show. I have not watched it yet. To be honest, I mean, I had heard like people have mentioned Josh Carr or Joshua Carr, however you want to say his name, to me before, and I haven't really watched any of his stuff. So this is sort of like my introduction to Joshua Carr as well, for those of you that have already watched his stuff or been watching his stuff. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what this dude has in store for us. Adopting a 5-year-old dog tomorrow. Nervous to be doing the dog thing again, but he is so sweet. So back in, let me see, it was like right before I bought the house I'm at now. So I think it would have been 2019. I did the first time ever. Normally when I got a dog, I always just got it from a baby. But the most recent one that I had was like one of those adoption agencies where try to make a long story short. I got the dog that I got, his owner, like he wasn't an abused animal or he wasn't abandoned or anything. His original owner, had passed away. And they did a really good job training him and everything else. He was a pit bull. I'm a big fan of pits. Some of you guys might not like pits, but I like pits. Anyway, so I found him. His name was Atticus. Beautiful, beautiful blue pit. And he was 4 years old when I got him. He ended up passing away at the age of, I believe he was either 10 or 11, if memory serves me correctly. Anyway, that might have been, this might sound a little messed up, but it doesn't matter. I'm still going to say it. I've lost incredibly close friends of mine to incredibly tragic situations, right? Losing that dog, I mean, that was right there as far as pain went. Maybe a little more, probably a little more, to be honest. I might be a bit of a sociopath. I think I like animals more than people, or dogs at least. But I have not gotten a dog since. I don't know I don't know if I ever will again, to be honest. That was so painful for me that I just don't know. I mean, I've heard all the arguments, you know what I mean? It's so worth it to go all the good times that you have. Yeah, that one hurt. I just, maybe I'm just not, at least right now, I am not ready to prepare myself for that again. That was kind of a long-winded little rant, but okay, let's go ahead and get into this. So first thing I'm going to pull up is a tweet that he just made, and I want to watch this. So let's get this going. Let's get this going. Okay, so here's the tweet. He says, "The rules for my investigation of Candace Owens."
Let me tell you the rules for this investigation. This goes for today's episode, for next week, and the week after that. You could call it maybe the architecture of my investigation, if you will. Now, I wouldn't normally do this, but I'm going to be playing by the same rules as Candace Owens. This is not how I typically do my show, but if she can dish it out, she better be able to take it. So we're going to speculate. We're going to speculate a lot, and we will look very closely at her personal life because she's made it very clear that that is on the table, that she will bring children, widows, parents who are ailed into this. She'll bring her friend who was assassinated into this. And so all things are on the table for this investigation. Let me tell you the rules for this investigation. This goes for today's episode.
Initial reactions. I don't know if I'm a fan of that. I mean, I guess it depends. I wonder if he specifies how much speculation or when he's speculating. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm a fan of that. So I will reserve judgment and we'll just see how this goes, I guess. Huh. I was assuming this was all like entirely fact-based. Okay, well, let's go.
Welcome to episode 1 of my series, Obsession with Charlie. I'll be showing you my in-depth investigation of who Candace Owens really is, her shady past, what she believes, and who funds her. And as Candace says, this will be no kerfluffle, guys. Today I'll also be showing you an exclusive phone call I had with one of Erica Kirk's best friends, someone who sees her regularly and has spoken to Candace recently as well. Now,
Jenny Kenny says he makes it obvious. He does it in a sarcastic Candace way. Okay.
Just as Candace Owens began her fraudulent investigation of Erica Kirk with a story, I'd like to begin this series with a story of my own. Candace Amber Owens grew up in New York and Connecticut, and as she herself relates, she became a raging leftist after experiencing some racism in school and developing a close relationship with her grandfather who experienced discrimination in Jim Crow era North Carolina. Candace became an activist from the very beginning because of this. She was fueled by resentment for her living conditions and family difficulties, including 5 of her uncles and some of her cousins being in jail.
I have cousins that have spent time in prison, and it was just a part of my story growing up. And it wasn't particularly unique. It's a weird thing to say, but in the retrospect, like, that seems normal to me. Like, we're going to go see your uncle in prison. Okay, sure, that's what you do.
I think that's normal for a lot of people.
Right.
From other people,
It's not
extraordinary.
Yeah, which really lets you know that you can create different simulations in different pockets of society, and until you travel outside of it to have a different experience, you think it's just the norm.
And thus began her career in activism. In high school, her and her mom, with the help of the NAACP, sued her school district and settled for $37,000. And from there, she went to study journalism, of course, at the University of Rhode Island. In 2015, remember, just 11 years ago, she founded an organization called Degree 180. Now, a lot of people have not heard of this. Degree 180 was a media company, and it was designed specifically to combat President Trump because this was when he was running for president for the first time. Degree 180 also featured celebrity gossip, topics surrounding love and marriage, and if that sounds familiar to you, it should, because anti-Donald Trump celebrity gossip, love and marriage is exactly what she talks about on her show today, as we will get into. So this started from the very beginning. As part of Degree 180, Candace Owens also started something called Social Autopsy. Here is Candace from 10 years ago explaining what that is.
Introducing Social Autopsy, the first ever search database that compiles and allows the public to easily access the digital footprint of individuals and companies.
And thus began Candace Owens' doxing days, where like any good leftist, she wanted to cancel people for anything they said on the internet. And despite pushing for its release, Social Autopsy was dead on arrival. There was harsh backlash. It never actually officially launched, thank goodness. And this began what Candace describes as her massive transformation.
It was interesting that there were signs. There were signs, guys, from the very beginning that these, Charlie included, people just decided to ignore because they saw the benefit, I think, of a Candace Owens. And she did. She had a benefit. Looking back, was that benefit good enough of a benefit for what we're going through now?
Where she realized that cancel culture was wrong and she wanted to become a conservative. Now, before we get into where George Farmer and Kanye West and Charlie Kirk come into play, let me tell you the rules for this investigation. This goes for today's episode, for next week, and the week after that. You could call it maybe the architecture of my investigation, if you will. Now, I wouldn't normally do this, but I'm going to be playing by the same rules as Candace Owens. This is not how I typically do my show, but if she can dish it out, she better be able to take it. So we're going to speculate. We're going to speculate a lot, and we will look very closely at her personal life because she's made it very clear that that is on the table, that she will bring children, widows, parents who are ailed into this. She'll bring her friend who was assassinated into this. And so all things are on the table for this investigation, and it might get a little bit nasty. And most importantly, we're just asking questions, guys. We're just asking questions. So from Social Autopsy, we see the beginning of a pattern for Candace Owens. Go where the money is. That is all. She was not an ideologue. She never was, because she went from a raging leftist to a conservative without any actual thing happening in her life other than failed businesses. She thought there was money in doxing people. When she realized people didn't like that, and when Trump won the election, she switched gears because she knew there was a new conservative wave happening in America. And this is where Charlie Kirk comes into play. At the exact time that Candace Owens' doxing company was fizzling out, Charlie Kirk and TPUSA were exploding. They went from raising $4 million a year, very good, by the way, and Charlie Kirk was
Starting a doxing company like that, though, too, I mean, it plays right into what we see today as far as her character goes. It's power and control, manipulation, everything she's always wanted. Everything she's always wanted.
only 23 at the time. They went from 4 million raised to 8 million raised the year that they hired Candace. And thus began the obsession of Charlie.
Izzle Bizzle had a bad Friday. Found out my dog has cancer. Please pray for her. That sucks. That sucks. I don't know if you were here at the beginning of the show or not, but we were talking about losing animals, and that is the worst. That is the worst.
Not an obsession of love, as I'll show you, but an obsession for the success and the power that he had. After being evicted from her apartment, she didn't pay rent for 6 months because I guess that's the kind of person she is. Candace started a YouTube channel called Red Pill Black. And
Lisa Longo, I'm late here, but I heard she had a job with Vogue for a short time. I don't know if that was mentioned. We basically just started this. So really the only thing that has been mentioned so far is that whole doxing company that she tried to start.
Overnight crafted herself into a conservative despite never being a conservative. 2 months after that, TPUSA hired her because her YouTube channel exploded. Candace's rise in TPUSA was quick, but her fall from it was just as rapid. If there's one thing we can learn about Candace Owens throughout her story in general, is that she is an opportunist. She's very good at that. She does not have an ideological base, as I've said. She's not consistent, other than chase the money. That is the consistent through her entire story, and she will do anything, and I mean anything to do that, as we'll get into. And so in her tenure at TPUSA, with a helpful endorsement from Kanye West, she started Blexit. Now, Blexit's a play on words, stands for Black Exit. It was about getting Black Americans to leave the progressive movement. And with Charlie Kirk's help, she was able to get many million-dollar donations from some very large conservative donors who had already donated to TPUSA. And Candace right there started to see the power that Charlie Kirk had. Over time, Kanye West would distance himself from her because she falsely used Kanye's name to sell merch for Blexit. She does a lot of just crazy stuff. She just says whatever she needs to say to get money. This was one example. And this is where Charlie Kirk and George Farmer come in even more. Candace is very ambitious. Candace did not want a piece of the pie. She wanted the whole pie. And I'm convinced, after all the research I've done, all the people that I've talked to in this process, that Candace Owens never loved Charlie. I know there's been a lot of speculation about this. Were they romantically involved? Did Candace really like Charlie, but he didn't like her back? I don't think it's true. I don't. And if you think about it, it never made any sense. Because how could Candace Owens ever have loved Charlie if she wasn't invited to the funeral, if she disparages his widow, if she's trying to destroy his life's work, TPUSA, or if she's trying to traumatize his kids, which they truly will have trauma one day when they grow up from seeing all of this. One of the other reasons I believe this is from a conversation I had with Erica Kirk's best friend, who's been very involved over the last 15 years. Here is what she said to me.
Yeah, I mean, so you said you're Erica's friend. I mean, usually that's the kind of thing that you would maybe talk to a friend about. Was there kind of a feeling of Candace is trying to, maybe at some point was trying to make an advance on Charlie, and so it wasn't appropriate for her to be around too much?
I don't think that was the case back then. Everybody speculated about that,
right.
Her feelings for Charlie. And,
right.
And the video she has up on her account is the two of them, way back when they were younger. And, which kind of leads you to the delusion of, did she have feelings for him and all those kinds of things. I think this reasoning was more so the issue with Turning Point and Charlie and Blexit and all that kind of stuff, which I don't know that for a fact.
Yeah.
But I think that was more of that type of a decision than anything, that they had already parted their ways. They already understood kind of, what the agenda was, and they just wanted no part of it.
So what we're referring to there is that at the same time as Blexit was growing, Charlie had began to date Erica. All of this happened at the same time. And at the same time as that, Candace Owens resigned from Turning Point USA after just a year, just a little bit over a year she was there. She was not there very long, and she essentially was fired. And this was in part because that she had made some pro-Hitler remarks. But I believe also, as Erica Kirk's friend says there, because Charlie could see that in addition to Candace having immense power to convince people to join the conservative movement, she was also willing to do whatever it took to take it over. And that is why they parted ways. I do believe that includes marrying Charlie Kirk, by the way. I truly believe Candace Owens would have done that if it meant she got to come out on top, even if she never loved him. Now, I don't know, but I know, if you know what I mean. And this is where George Farmer comes into play, guys, where we will center today's investigation, where things get true.
I see what you guys were saying as far as making the speculation obvious, but man, I don't know. I guess I wouldn't have put it past, knowing what we know now about Candace Owens, I wouldn't have put that past her at all. Could you imagine if they went, oh man, what a mess. What a mess that would have been. But let's be real. Charlie was a lot of things. Stupid was not one of them.
Truly shady. George Farmer grew up in an aristocratic family in the UK, and his father was known as Lord Farmer because he was in the upper parliament in the House of Lords, and they were very, very wealthy, very influential. And he went to Oxford, he went into finance, worked in hedge funds, and then he decided to play his hand at politics. And he ran an unsuccessful Brexit party campaign while Candace Owens at the same time was growing Blexit in America. They had never met before. And instead of trying to run again for office, he decided to get involved with Turning Point USA. So in December of 2018, Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens arrived in London for their kickoff event. They were trying to create TP UK. And lo and behold, there was George Farmer, completely out of work, not in politics, at the same time while Candace Owens would also soon lose her job at TPUSA just a few months later. And in only 17 days, Candace Owens and George Farmer were engaged. Never met before. They had a 17-day dating courtship, I guess, and then engaged. They had never met. Now, here's the deal, guys.
That's still something I don't quite understand. You know, I know there's a lot of tards over on that side that just run with Candace and believe everything Candace says. But if they're so like skeptical of Charlie and Erica's marriage, how are they not skeptical with Candace and George? Like that is way more weird than anything I've seen or heard about Charlie and Erica. Even the misinformation they try to push out about Charlie and Erica. What Candace and George did is far and beyond weirder than anything they've come up with on Erica and Charlie. But they just like, nah, Candace is saying everything we want to hear, so we're cool. It's all good.
Guys, just so you know where I'm coming from, I'm fine with young people getting married quickly. I got married when I was 22. My wife was 21. We dated for 1 year to the day. So, and many consider that very fast. So by most people's standards, I'm totally cool with that. But this was something completely different. And as Erica Kirk's friend told me, there was no romance involved at all. This was a purely business marriage.
And that's why he proposed to her. But there was absolutely no courting, no dating, no romance, no nothing.
We could speculate. Do you guys want to speculate? you guys want to do some speculating, shall we? So we know that, is it Lord Farmer, George Farmer's dad? This is purely speculation. This is just opinion. I am not presenting this as fact. This is for entertainment purposes only. Maybe George doesn't like women, and that caused like a huge rift between him and his father. So to kind of stick it to his father, he marries a woman. And that woman is Candace Owens. Now, I'll leave you guys to speculate as to why that move might be sticking it to his old father. All right. I'll leave you guys to speculate on that. But maybe he doesn't have to, I don't know if they we're going to stop there on the speculation and we're just going to keep watching. All right. We're just going to keep going. I don't.
And that's my point, which is kind of interesting how you then have the counterfeit of how she attacks Charlie and Erica.
Now, maybe you're saying, look, Josh, that conversation you had was just gossip. So why don't we hear from George Farmer himself?
When I met her, I was like, this is a woman who, she just commanded a power. It was very difficult to describe. Nothing romantic was said, between that day and the day.
This is a woman that will definitely piss off my old man. Entertainment speculation. I'm not presenting that as fact. But it was interesting, his little smirk he made there as he's like thinking about it. Maybe. This is a woman who commanded power and presence. And will definitely stick it to my dad.
Day that we got engaged, nothing romantic was said at all. There was no overtures. Like we didn't go for dinner. Like we didn't take it. Nothing.
Send her flowers.
No, nothing. Yeah, nothing. Exactly. And so,
I mean, that would make sense, right? We can speculate. Maybe he's not, but like to marry somebody and you have not had a romantic interaction with them in one way, shape, a business marriage. I'm pretty sure at that point, like George Farmer's doing fine, right? So what is the business marriage that he gets with Candace Owens, who was ousted from Turning Point? Why he wouldn't need Candace Owens to get into these circles to want to be part of TPUSA. He's got money. He could just be a donor and meet Charlie and talk to Charlie and say that he wants to, like, what are we talking about? Doesn't need Candace Owens for that. What kind of business relationship does Candace bring to the table? How to get fired and fail miserably? I mean, she's doing great now, but all thanks to Charlie. Everything Candace has is all thanks to Charlie. Without Charlie Kirk, there is no Candace Owens. I got into like some arguments with stupid people on Twitter about this. Well, they did not like that at all. No, I heard they were like, "Well, we were watching Candace Owens before we ever heard of Charlie Kirk." Like, yeah, when? What was the time period that you were listening to? You might not have known about Charlie Kirk, but you wouldn't have known about Candace Owens if it wasn't for Charlie Kirk. And everything Candace has going right now is still all because of Charlie Kirk.
So I was very clear about that because it was almost like getting to know oneself in some ways. It was kind of a very strange experience, you know.
Candace Owens and George Farmer entered into a business marriage, and Candace knew that Charlie Kirk was already smitten with Eric.
Miss me, Cat. There's a rumor that Candace is actually a guy. I'm just asking questions. Maybe that's why she's so upset at the Macrones. Speculation and entertainment, not fact, not presenting as fact.
Erica Kirk at that point. And George Farmer knew that Candace Owens would propel him to the next phase of his career since his political career had completely failed. There was no courting, no romance. They got engaged 17 days later, and this is crazy. To commemorate their business marriage, they held their meeting in the appropriate business fashion over Zoom. He proposed over Zoom, guys. Tax season can suck, guys, but I want to introduce you to the people who do my taxes. Quick Tax America. They're doing all federal tax returns for...
And an ad. Whatever. Get your money. Get your money, man.
Rest of the work. And again, it's only $76 no matter how complicated your taxes are.
He's still going.
Go check them out at quicktaxamerica.com. So Candace Owens and George Farmer's plans worked. 2 months after meeting, George Farmer was named chairman of Turning Point UK. While George was running Turning Point UK, Candace continued to do what she does best, chase the money, gossip. Candace grew her audience talking about celebrities at the Daily Wire and tried to launch an anti-woke banking startup before it collapsed completely. As her audience grew, George was able to leverage his business marriage with her into another business, Parler. Parler, if you didn't know, was a conservative competitor to Twitter before Elon Musk bought it. And remarkably, with almost no tech experience at all, George Farmer was able to join its C-suite first as a COO and then later as the CEO. And how was he able to do this? By leveraging his relationship with Candace Owens and having her drive her audience towards Parler. That was their main marketing mechanism to get conservatives over there. He had no experience in tech. He was struggling in his career until he could leverage Candace's large audience in exchange for leadership in the company. Unfortunately for them, Elon Musk later bought X and Parler was irrelevant and collapsed. Now, 2 things I should mention about George Farmer before we continue with Candace Owens. George Farmer has been friends with Andrew Tate for years. In fact, they say they've been friends from way before Andrew Tate was even famous. So he is deeply involved with that. Obviously, Andrew Tate is involved in a Romanian human trafficking ring. And I find it very interesting that that is the very thing that Candace has accused Erica Kirk of doing. Like, to a T. Throughout this episode.
Here's my problem with all that. Or with this theory that it was like a business relationship and that he got involved with Candace Owens as what, for networking, or like he could have done this all on his own. And I don't see the need for Candace Owens to get married to Candace Owens. If he has money, he could have, you know what I mean? It's not like it helped him. All of those business decisions that they made, this business relationship, everything was really not going well. Parler was a huge flop. And I think there's more to that Parler thing, but I'm not sure. So I don't want to just say some stuff that I'm completely wrong about. But I don't see this as a business thing. I think I might, I don't know, maybe, but I like my theory, my speculative, only for entertainment purposes only theory, that this was just a, like, oh yeah, this is going to make daddy mad. U.S. citizenship. Oops. Kelly Bagwell says citizenship, but he no, he would have not had an issue getting any of that. Wealthy people like that don't have the same problems, guys, that we have. All right, it's a very different world for those people. Jenny Kenny, I feel like this is the obvious Candace-like speculation because this is exactly how she would spin it. Yeah, I know, but I just like it's just my opinion, but I think you could have spun it a little different way. I think my way's funnier. Tracy Benna, I wonder if they ever wanted a partnership with Charlie and TPUSA. So at this point, right, Candace had already been let go from TPUSA. And I'm guessing that the relationship between Charlie and Candace would have been souring or soured a little bit, right? Like to a point where like he's going to remain friends with her. You know what I mean? There's still going to be a use for Candace, but the trust factor is probably not there all the way anymore. And I would assume George would be aware of that. Or, I mean, maybe not if it was, what was it, 17 days? That just doesn't, like, that's not even enough time to really investigate what kind of connections Candace has and how well liked she is among all of her peers. Like 17 days is not, that's not enough time to really get a gauge on how well of a connected business relationship this is going to be. You know what I mean? Like you don't form a business partnership after meeting somebody after 17 days. And I don't care what level of business you're in. So that doesn't math for me. I think it was a get back at daddy move. I really do. The more I think about it.
Episode. What you will see, and the next two as well, there's a common theme where Candace basically accuses Erica Kirk of everything that she, in reality, is doing. I 100% believe that she and George Farmer were covering for Andrew Tate and continue to cover for Andrew Tate. Now, here's another anecdote, as Candace says, about George Farmer. He was accused of sexual assault in 2012.
I'm just choking on nothing for no reason. Tracy Benna, I think Candace was into his money. Yeah, you think? I think Candace saw business opportunities with George Farmer. I think Candace saw lots of opportunities. I don't see the benefit to George from a business opportunity standpoint. I mean, maybe you guys can make a halfway decent argument for that. But the more I'm like, and I'm just now thinking about this, the more I think about it, it doesn't make any sense business wise. He could have bought in. He could have easily just bought in with these people without Candace Owens. He didn't need to marry her after meeting her 17 days later. That did not need to happen for him to get an in with these people. George's money. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I know why Candace did it. Julie Ray, he needed to marry to get his inheritance. I mean, maybe, but if you marry somebody daddy doesn't like, I'm pretty sure daddy can change the rules. Fran G. David, only time will tell. Yeah, I suppose. That is true. That is true. We'll see.
22, not for a woman, but for a man. This was from Raheem Kassam, who is also in the conservative movement in the UK in the...
Sorry, guys. I'm going to pause this again. Lisa Longo, George is supposed to be worth $250 million, at least online, but net worth stuff is not always correct. Yeah, that doesn't... Just because he might be valued at $250 million doesn't mean that that's liquid asset, or you know what I mean? Doesn't mean it's liquid. At the same time, Okay. Even if you're worth 250, but that only means you got like 20 mil in actual liquid. You still don't need Candace Owens. Like, it's not even, yeah, it's not, that argument doesn't make any sense to me. Belaze, Bronson, both sides also made a video about Candace Owens and Sandy Hook connection with Candace Owens. Okay, now I'm intrigued. Gonna have to check that out. This is only a 20-something minute video. Maybe we could pull. How is it like? I'm guessing it's on YouTube, so I would assume it's YouTube friendly. Natalie Herman, only 20 mil. Yeah, and that's like, for somebody who might be like valued at 250, like 20 mil is like a worst case scenario to have that as far as liquid goes. I would think. Well, maybe not. Who knows? If I can tell you this much. If I was big and famous and the internet had me valued at 250, generally those aren't always accurate, right? Most of the time they're not accurate. But I'm not hurting. Right? I'm doing good. Even if I'm not valued at 250, even if I'm really only valued at like 30, guys, this is a different realm. This is an entirely different existence with that kind of net worth. You cannot fathom that amount of money. They live different. They live way different. And he would not need a Candace Owens.
Early 2010s. And again, these allegations are from before Candace Owens left the Daily Wire. This is before the controversy with TPUSA. Here are some direct quotes from Kassam. Quote, "Farmer has sexually assaulted me. Candace blocked me for calling her sham marriage out. I know this from all angles." Again, this was in 2022. Candace Owens was still mainstream. She was still working for the Daily Wire. Charlie Kirk was alive. None of this had happened yet, and yet he says sham marriage. He continues, this was a little later. He said, quote, "He tried to kiss me on a drunken night out and then tried to grab my crotch another time when I bumped him at a bar. It's not worthy of much more conversation than that." Another quote, "Well, he tried to kiss me and grab my crotch, but maybe you don't think that's gay." Those events were, again, before Farmer married Candace Owens. So again, I'm not saying we know that George Farmer is gay, but we know. Returning to Candace and Charlie was very clear.
As far as I know, that I forget, he probably just said his name, but I remember seeing the tweets. I forget his name, but as far as I know, that's the only person who's like publicly came out and said that they were actually, what's the word you want to use? Attempted upon by George, I guess. I know Milo has said it and whatnot, but I don't think George has ever tried to make a move at Milo. But as far as I know, that's the only one, right? I don't think there's anybody else that's come forward and been like, yeah, no, George was trying to get all this. Not saying that he's like a liar or anything. I don't know. He's the guy sure seems, he seems convincing that it happened. I'll say that.
Charlie knew the power trip that Candace was on and that this was a business marriage through and through. Here is Erica Kirk's friend telling me that she was not invited to Charlie's wedding.
A lot of people were asking about that, and I said, they're like, well, we saw photos of Charlie and Erica at their wedding. I said, yeah, they were at their wedding, but you don't see any photos of Candace at Charlie and Erica's wedding. There's a reason for that.
And as we'll get into in the next episode that comes out next week, Candace...
What's the reason? Does he leave a cliffhanger like that? What an asshole. Are you kidding me? Okay, now I was like here as far as liking. Now I'm a notch down here a little bit. I don't like that. What the hell, dude? You just set that up and leave us hanging? I mean, I get it. You gotta come back. You gotta tune in. He did say he was gonna do this like Candace.
was never truly friends with Charlie Kirk. She was never truly friends with Erica. All she wanted was to run TPUSA and be the head. And he fired her before she could take over. That's why she accuses all of her political opponents of trying to take over TPUSA when they're not, because that's exactly what she wanted to do. One of the big questions I think a lot of us have is what went wrong between Erica and Candace's meeting? They met a couple of months ago, as most of you know, and it's gone way south since then.
Mama Owl says this is dumb. Tracy was on Graham. Yo, fun fact, I still have not watched that yet. I still have not watched that interview with Graham. I just things happen. I get busy and still have not watched it.
Before that, Candace Owens was implying that Erica Kirk had something to do with Charlie's assassination. Now, obviously, she has launched a full-scale investigation into Erica. I asked Erica's friend about this. As it turns out,
I'm assuming you're talking to me about calling Joshua an asshole for leaving that cliffhanger. Kinda is. He kinda is. Frangie. She says, no, he's not what you called him. He kinda is.
actually called Candace herself. Again, this girl that I talked to in this recording talked to Candace for at least an hour and asked her herself what happened. And here is what she said.
I asked Candace, I said, okay, you had Erica for 4.5 hours. And I don't know if I said this on Graham's or not, but I said, you had Erica for 4.5 hours. Why didn't you ask her any question that you wanted to ask her? Erica was gracious enough to fly down to Nashville to meet with Candace because Candace said she couldn't come up here and all these other which again, whatever, you can, but that's okay. So Erica's like, I'm going to go. And so I asked her that and she said, oh no, I wasn't on the destroying Erica train then. She said, I thought she was being unfairly judged. And I'm like, that's a complete lie because that's why Erica went.
Right.
I mean, she would not have gone down there if she would not have felt the need to have a face-to-face conversation. And that's why she did that, you know, and Erica did that because that's who she is. She wants to handle things.
Emily Allen, 8436. Is it not possible that they are all shady and suck? Erica, Charlie, Candace, George? It is suck? If no, I don't know if I would say that it's possible that they all sucked. They all could be making mistakes, right? But did Charlie Kirk ever publicly say anything really negative about Candace Owens when he very well could have? Candace is, soon as Charlie's gone, Candace is on the attack against Charlie, against Erica, against his company that she's, you know, you can make the argument like it was wrong of Charlie. It was a sucky move for Charlie to maybe, and for a lot of these people to have known who Candace was and to hide it to win some elections. You could make that argument, and I would be like, I'm not going to push back too heavy on that argument, to be honest with you, because the more, I mean, 910 is exposing a lot of these people for the frauds that they are, or for the incredibly self-interest that they have. So you could make that argument, and I really wouldn't push back because I kind of agree. I think that in hindsight, I feel like a lot of people might do things differently from now, or at least I hope so. If they see then again, who knows? If it benefits them and they can, you know, I don't know why I have so much hope for humanity. I don't know that it's really given us any reason to have hope, but I still have hope. God probably has a lot to do with that, maybe. But no, I don't know if I would say that they suck on all sides, right? They're not perfect. They are imperfect. But some of them definitely suck. Oh, never mind. That is not relevant to the conversation. Emily Allen, I'm definitely not meaning to support Candace. No, I didn't think that's what you were meaning. I'm assuming the people in the chat weren't thinking that either. I understood I get what you're saying. So, I mean, yeah, like I just wouldn't go as far as to say like everybody sucks on all sides. I think there's, like I said, they're imperfect, right? But there's definitely some that suck. As we're finding out.
At the highest.
Oh yeah, hey Ben, update. How's the tornado weather going? Ben's in some tornado area.
Level of integrity, not go back and forth over text messages and all the other kinds of stuff. And she even said, I thought it went pretty well. She goes, I'm completely blindsided by how this has taken this turn.
We'll get more into that in the next episode, but the plan for Candace Owens was always to marry into taking over a movement. Always. This is the girl she was. She wanted to marry Charlie to join with TPUSA. That dream died, so she chose George Farmer in Parler. Seeing Charlie die brought back these memories, and seeing Erica Kirk now running TPUSA instead of her enraged Candace. That is what motivates her. So now, and this is clear as day to me, her plan is to destroy the organization at all costs. So here's my prediction, guys. Candace will be restarting what she began with Blexit. She will be rolling it out to everyone, and I think she's going to try to compete with TPUSA in an effort to destroy them.
Yeah, I would agree with him to a certain extent. I don't know if her like main goal is the destruction of TPUSA. I think she wants to get to a place where TPUSA just doesn't matter. And we're watching that happen. We're watching her slowly build her little coalition, right? We're watching her build up her team of influencers. And I think that's what she's going for. Which is surprising that she's the only one, because there were a lot of people, I would assume, in that industry, a lot of wolves dressed as sheep in that industry that saw huge opportunities after what happened on 9/10. As sad as that is to say, that's how sick people can be and are. And Candace got out front, the fastest and the biggest. So I definitely agree I agree with him that she is trying to basically capture that audience. Here's the problem. I don't know, well, maybe. Now that I think about it, the whole anti-Israel thing, that is catching on so fast. I mean, I had a feeling it was going to continue to get big and continue to grow. I didn't think it was going to catapult into the mainstream, at least on social media, this quickly. And Candace is at the forefront of that. She's one of the biggest talking heads when it comes to that out there. And she can capture it all. And that's kind of scary. It's kind of a scary thought, especially since, the people like us who are paying attention and are perfectly aware of just how much lying, how much manipulating they're doing. Imagine if they just keep getting bigger. That's a scary, scary thought.
It is her mission, I truly believe, to try to control the conservative movement. This is how she will do it. Take it to the bank. Now, we've gotten through all of this together. I want to show you something I showed at the beginning of the show. Candace's high school yearbook. This flashed in the intro. If you look closely, the beginning of her yearbook starts with a quote. It says, "What lies behind us is a small matter compared to what lies within us." Here's what's interesting.
DDS Allen says, if she can't take it, she'll destroy it. In her mind, Erica has what is hers. I don't know that she'll be able to destroy TPUSA. Like realistically, TPUSA is pretty big. They have a lot of donors. I think TPUSA is going to be just fine. But that's not to say that Candace isn't going to grab the divided half. And I think he's right. I think he's absolutely right about that. That she maybe doesn't necessarily want to control the entire conservative movement, but she wants to definitely have power and influence when it comes to it. Especially after she's been fired by all these people, right? Basically got put out to the side to where it's like, you know what? Never mind. You're not going to have what Jeremy Boring came out. Didn't he say they invested millions and millions of dollars into her? That's insane. How did you not know who this was? You just, oh, they get some views and they're really good for a market that we're going after. So forget about getting to know this person. We're gonna hire her. And Charlie didn't like give out like a hey, just a heads up. Or maybe they thought the risk was worth it, I guess. Granted, we know now that Boring came out and said that it was basically like the biggest mistake he's ever made. So hindsight's 2020, I guess, but
about that, guys. That quote is missing something. Usually the quote reads this: what lies behind us and what lies in front of us is a small matter. Candace chose to omit that part, and I think it's for a reason. I think she always knew that what lied in front of her was bigger than what was in her, and she wanted it to consume her. She wanted her ambition and her greed to consume her, and that's why she began her obsession with Charlie. Episode 2 will be coming out next week, guys. It will include some conversations I had with Candace's team. We will also
next week. Like when next week, bro? You're not going to make us wait till next Friday for this, right? DDS Allen says she definitely can't destroy it, but she'll certainly try. She will definitely try to convert as many TPUSA Charlie Kirk audience people as she can. She will try to take as many as she can. That's for sure. For sure. I'm not real sure how she's going to capture the youth vote from behind a camera, though. Takes a lot more. Takes a lot more to get the youth vote than just to be behind a camera.
Dive into who Candace's sponsors are, where she is getting her money from, how much she's made. This conversation that I had with Erica Kirk's friend on today's show was about 45 minutes long. It was long, and I will be uploading all of it for members.
Lisa Longo, I just don't want her to be the subject of every conversation when we have midterms coming up. I'm not saying we should not debunk her, but I want to win the midterms as a Republican. Vote. We can talk about Candace. We can talk about midterms. We can vote. We can do all of that. It doesn't have to be a one or the other. And as big as this whole like anti-Israel thing is going on right now on the internet, that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt more than really anything Candace is saying. That's going to sting.
Only to hear on YouTube. It will be released Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Again, if you want to support me, get really cool behind the scenes perks like this phone call, please join. It's only $2.99 if you sign up on an Apple device. For whatever reason, if you don't sign up on Apple, it's only $1.99. So just sign up on a different device. It doesn't make a difference to me. Don't give Apple more money. It helps support my work. I'll put a link to join in the description below. Also, if you're a Candace Owens fan and you've got something angry to say,
Kaylee 3952, it's good to remember we have been steeped in this. And in most people's day-to-day lives, they can't even tell you what Candace Owens is up to. Correct. Candace Owens isn't the biggest thing going on in the world or in the United States, right? A good portion of the voting audience is not really aware of what Candace Owens is saying on a daily basis. They're well aware of a war happening right now. they're well aware of the narrative being pushed about that. And that is obviously that we're going in whatever you want to call it for Israel and not for the United States. They're aware of that. That's for sure. And that is going to cause some problems. That is going to cause some serious problems in the midterms. Maria Fofana. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you for the membership. Glad you're here. Ex-favorite daughter, Kaylee, exactly. I know so many people who have no idea who Candace Owens is. Right. No, Candace, I don't think Candace is to a point to where she's going to have that much of an effect on midterm elections across the United States. However, a war is going to have a huge effect. Okay, let me see. I got a link. Let me open up this link in a new tab. I don't know how many times okay, here we go. So this is both sides video. Candace Owens confronts explosive Sandy Hook father allegations after Ian Carroll speaks out. All right, new to this, guys. Let's see how this goes.
If all things are supposed to be believed, and in the words of Candace Owens, life is stranger in fiction, when it really is, life is stranger than fiction, then we have some things to discuss, and the things we need to discuss might have very, very, very far-reaching implications, and might even jump into the category of conspiracy theory. Now, please remember, I did say conspiracy theory. Do not blame me if you take it as factual.
Maria says her husband wanted to buy TPUSA / be a CEO after Charlie's death, and Erica told her no. Has that been confirmed? I know I've heard that, but I don't know that we have any type of actual confirmation on whether or not that's true. I don't know that anybody who would know has denied this, but I don't believe they confirmed it either. And I also could be wrong. Lisa Longo, we are not fighting for Israel. I'm 53 years old. Iran has been a thorn in our side for decades. Trump said in the 80s that we need to go after Iran. Trump also ran on it. Yeah, you know, there's these conspiracy theories or whatever about Israel for the third, to build the third temple and bring in the Antichrist or whatever. Here's my problem with that is, like, what were they doing before they had the problems with Iran? They had a pretty good amount of peacetime, right? With Iran? Before the Ayatollah and everything, back when the Shah was there. Pretty sure, like, I think they were even kind of allied together. So I don't know. Geopolitics is so, what I'm not even sure what the word, complex. Crazy. It's not black and white. I'm going to keep saying that. It's definitely not black and white. But not everybody, but a lot of people, it's easy to just pretend it is for clicks and views, for rage bait. You can, you get interactions by that. That's how you get impressions and views. Just say the easy thing. You don't have to put too much thought into it. Just Israel bad. Israel bad. Iran not bad somehow, but Israel bad.
The tail end of what I'm going to suggest. However, it is just a suggestion. But before the suggestion, we're going to get into something that's a little bit more pivotal. And that is the way that Candace Owens goes about her investigation.
Natalie Herman says, look up videos. They were pretty westernized. Yeah, I remember seeing quite a few video clips and stuff of, like, the Shah and then coming to visit and all that. I remember that. Herman, I seen that name. I just watched the Nuremberg the movie the other day. That's great. That was a great movie from the Nuremberg trials. That was fantastic.
And
sorry, your name, Herman, just
like
reminded me of
investigations.
No,
we
guy.
Really do. And we took her blueprint and we decided to follow. Now, when we did follow her blueprint, we came across some very interesting things. Not the least of them was her parentage. One person in particular, that being her father. Now, in our search, remember we told you some time ago we had a hard time locating some information about her? Well, and especially her family. Well, it pays to continue to dig, but dig in different ways, thanks to Candace Owens. So we decided to dig in different ways, and we came across two different videos. Two videos that seemed to say the exact same thing, and one of the videos was even done by a man named Ian Carroll. You might recognize the name Ian Carroll, and if you do recognize the name Ian Carroll, you'll remember him as being a partner with Miss Owens some time back. I haven't seen him on her show recently, and I don't know if this has anything to do with it. However, if that is the reason that he stopped doing a whole lot with her, it's understandable. And again, we're going to get into conspiracy, but we're also going to talk about.
Oh no! Ian is not done with Candace Owens. That's not a chance. Not a chance.
Things that we've been looking into that we consider trustworthy.
That hand will never get bit.
Not provable, trustworthy, worthy of trust. Not trusting yet, fully worthy of it. But before we get into that, please, if you have not yet, we have a secondary channel by the name of In Plain Sight, where we do reactions to police body cams and the like. If you don't mind, please run over there and give it a subscribe if you haven't already, and take a gander at our videos. We'd love for you to join us over there. Now, to get into all of the good stuff. If you remember some time back, there was an incident in a little school called Sandy Hook. Now, the eventual fallout from that was that a man by the name of Alex Jones was sued into oblivion for things he had said about the events there.
Two Goats and a Dog says, Ian has lost my respect and, more importantly, his mind. Yeah. Ian still, like, it's tough because part of me feels like Ian knows he's full of shit. Like, he's grifting on that. But he also, like, does bring some things to light. Like, he still does some good stuff. I don't know if his good stuff is outweighing his grift at the moment. But I also know that he steals a lot of his stuff. I mean, he does work on some of it. Like, I'm not going to say he doesn't do any work and he just steals everything. But he's definitely borrowing stuff from other people. I don't know. Like, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. Like F Ian Carroll, but at the same time, like he has a purpose. He's okay. Listen, Ian, Candace has no purpose. All she can do, she's just a talking head. She's just a face. She doesn't really do anything, right? Everybody else does this stuff for her, and then she just presents it. She does not have an original thought in her brain. She has no original ideas. Okay. Ian, at least for the most part, seems to think for himself on occasion.
Mostly that it was fabricated, it was a psyop, it was MKO, all that stuff, So they sued him because he was downplaying the victims. Well, lo and behold, we found some information about Candace Owens that relates to it, but not by her, but by her father. Yes, in a video by an individual. The name of the channel that we found this information on, it's a very small one, by the way. It's not a huge one. Amanda Smith, very small channel, dabbled into the man's history. Now, she came across his blog, and then she came across it's a kind of like link.
Is Ian Iranian or is it Milo? I have no idea. I mean, they're pretty pale if they are. But I don't know. I don't think Ian's Iranian.
But it's not LinkedIn. It's called, Build Pro or something like that. But if you want to, bold.pro. And when she showed the documentation from bold.pro, there was some odd things being mentioned there. Because if you looked at it, the way she presented it, there was some information about.
Listen, if you guys want to know the truth, Baron Coleman is a much bigger threat than Candace Owens is. Baron Coleman and Ian Carroll are far bigger threats than Candace Owens. Say what you want. All right. I don't know if this might come across as a little, doesn't matter. I don't care. It's going to sound bigoted, big deal. Men are going to demand a larger audience overall than women are. Okay. Well, maybe, I guess it depends on the subject matter. It depends on the subject matter. But in like conspiracy world, Baron Coleman is just scratching the surface. Okay. He's just scratching the surface. He is very well spoken. He's good on a mic. He's well read. Everything Candace basically isn't. Baron Coleman, Baron, like, watch out for Baron Coleman. I'm telling you guys, if he sinks his teeth into this whole grift that he's got going on, and he expands further out, the more of an audience he's able to grab, he's going to be a problem. He's going to be a huge problem. He will end up being a louder voice than both Candace and Ian Carroll. Just give it time. That dude's a problem. And it's like, it's tough too, because Baron Coleman has a personality, right? Like, he can turn on a charm. He's got that, like, that whole, like, Southern gift of gab. He can turn that on. And he can charm the pants off of people. Watch out for that dude. I personally he's every, like, I've had to deal with lawyers, okay? I've had to deal with politicians. I hate them both with a passion. It's the slimiest, ickiest, nasty feeling you can get. I don't know if you guys if you've ever, like, gone out to, doesn't matter. They're gross people. And they will do whatever it takes to get wherever it is that they want to be. And that's disgusting. Watch out for Baron Coleman.
Him working security at Sandy Hook at the time of the event by his own words. He mentioned it somewhere along the region of, he said, tragic events, during tragic events, security during tragic events. Now, I'm not sure whether or not he meant to put that down, or if he thought that would be a flex because he was there and he participated in something that was either curtailing, he was there.
Yeah. Baron Coleman is basically a Saul Goodman. And I don't mean that in a complimentary fashion. Although that was a good show. Better Call Saul was a good show. And if I needed a lawyer, if I needed a defense lawyer, a Baron Coleman is who I would want.
To damage control, or he had a hand in it. Again, her reporting based on what she found. And we thought, well, that's a one-off. It couldn't possibly. But then we saw, again, it being reflected in a different individual. There was another channel that picked it up because Ian Carroll spoke about it too. He read it off on his own platform. Now, the crazy part about this is that if this is true, there are some major implications. One of which it might explain the drifting apart of Miss Owens and you know who? Okay, cool. Now, if they drifted apart, and I know, they're turning the frogs gay. If Alex and her drifted apart because of this particular incident where he might have stumbled across later on that her father was involved, that could explain a whole.
Lisa Longo, Baron pisses me off. He's an idiot. Unfortunately, when I see his stuff on X, he is. You think he's an idiot because of you? You have to understand, Baron doesn't have to try hard for his audience. He does not have to try hard. He doesn't need to put a bunch of energy and thought and you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't have to sound smart or come across as smart or be smart. So don't I wouldn't judge him just based off of what you see on his live streams or his videos. The dude is not stupid. He just doesn't have to be smart for his audience right now. He just doesn't. That's how easy these people are. They just, oh, guy says something I like. Here's money. Ooh, he's saying the thing. He's saying the thing. Does he mean it? Don't care. He's saying the thing. He's saying the thing. You know, they don't have to be smart for these people. So don't judge him off that. Barron is not stupid.
A lot about that rift, one, and about the eventual fallout of the conservative movement when it comes to those two being a driving force behind conspiracy theories. Again, trustworthy, not trusting just yet. Now, when it comes to her father, if indeed he had a hand, or at least was there at the times of events, it would explain some things about Candace going into everybody else's history and why it's so hard to find hers. Now, if you remember this whole new thing that she's doing with Erica Kirk and going into her background and her mama and her mama's mama and her mama's grandmama's mama, all the way back to the moonshine era, she's running the whole gamut of history. And this guy stole 10 cents and a tuppence from this other person's top hat. That is where she's going as far back as that to reflect on Erica. Now, whether it's true or not, I'm not here to debate that because that'll come in later.
This guy's creepy music in the background is freaking me out. I feel like YouTube's going to... Oh, no, he's fine. He should be fine.
In our conspiracy section. But if we were to, like we said at the beginning, we looked at the way she investigated and we liked it. Because what she does is she takes a inference over here.
Lisa Longo, excellent point. He just has to say what they want to hear, not what they need to hear. No, right. Like, no. These people already have their conclusions. All they got to do is just keep finding little things that they consider to be dirt on Erica Kirk, and they'll present it and go, ooh, look what we have here. Ooh, look what we have here. And then every once in a while, he probably, I don't know, I haven't really watched his stuff for a minute, but I'm sure he throws something else in with, who knows, something about the roommate Lance, is, oh, you just can't find him or something, or I'm sure he throws little things like that in here and there, but I'm guessing he's right along on the Candace trail with the whole Erica Kirk bad. Here's weird Erica Kirk stuff. Weird. I think I seen a tweet. I do catch his tweets, but they're like, so she lied, I guess, about her college. Like, okay. All right, let's say she did. Then what? That means she's lying about being involved in unaliving her husband. I don't think that's how it works. I really don't. People lie about their education all the time. And I don't even know if she's lying. I haven't bothered to even, she very well could be. They could be right. Maybe she is. And, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize everybody was casting Erica Kirk as the perfect person on the planet. I didn't realize that's what we were saying about Erica Kirk. I didn't get the memo, guys. Is that what we're pushing? Are we saying Erica Kirk is infallible? That she's perfect? She can do no wrong. She's never done no wrong. She's basically the second coming. Is that what we're saying? And I don't think that's anybody's stance, right? We're just saying, no, you guys are crazy and stupid to think she had anything to do with the unaliving of her husband. I don't think we're going any further than that. At least I haven't seen it. I don't know. Did I miss something? As far as I could tell, that's all we were doing is going, Erica Kirk just is a victim of a tragedy. And anybody attacking her right now is grifting, crazy, stupid, evil, whatever word you want to use. All that, or just all of it. Pretty sure that's all anybody was saying. Not that she's a perfect person and has never told a lie. Not that she doesn't have a past. Like, what? But it doesn't matter because their audience they just need that. Because if this one little thing is off here, Well, that somehow makes their argument that she had something to do with betraying Charlie Kirk. Somehow that makes that argument stronger. Yeah. Again, back to my point to where Barron does not need to be smart for his audience. Lucky him. I would, guys, to be honest, you guys are smarter than I am, right? So this is a lot of pressure to come on here and try to talk about things. I mean, it's kind of nice though, because a lot of you will like tell me things and then I'm like, oh, cool. Didn't know that. So I learned, like, Baron Coleman isn't learning diddly from the people that watch him and are in his comment section. He ain't learning nothing from them. Benjamin throws out a $5 super chat. Appreciate it, Ben. Bronson says things I like on YouTube. Here's money. Yeah, right. Right. Oh, look, he said the thing. I thought Milo was Jewish. Isn't Milo Jewish?
And finds a tether of small, even if it's just like a spider web, one web to this spot here, it's automatically grounds for not just speculation, but for proof. So let's take it this way. Candace Owens, around the time of her trying to make ends meet, has a father that she's estranged to. That's what we want us to believe. She's estranged because she's raised by grandpa. And the father has a hand in Sandy Hook. Now, Sandy Hook takes place and Alex Jones jumps right on it. He suspects some things might be off.
In Milo's defense, he never came out and you know what I mean? He never pretended to be like a good person or somebody that you should follow or like take advice from. You know what I mean? He's always just said crazy shit to get attention. That's just been his thing. And it worked. Because guys, all you have to do is just say the thing. That's all you got to do. Just say the thing and look like you really mean it. And they'll love you for it.
He's later eventually sued and has the same lawyer that Candace has, but we'll go into that again in the conspiracy theory thing.
Michael Copy, Milo is Greek, Bronson. Yeah, I think he's Jewish too.
Now, once he's been sued, Candace Owens rises straight to the top, and then all of a sudden, Mr. Alex Jones goes to the wayside. You remember that flip where Alex kind of faded back and nobody listened to him after saying,
what's going on? No, I've seen Barron yell and belittle those in his chat. Yeah, I would. Are you kidding me? I wouldn't want those people in my chat either. They'd drive me nuts. I'd be screaming at them the whole episode. Just pulling up like, okay, look it, here's stupid. Like, can you blame him? I don't blame him one bit. I'm surprised it doesn't happen more, to be honest with you, unless he just only reads super chats now. Maybe that's how he gets like away from it. Like, I'm only going to read super chats. I'm not actually going to engage with my audience unless they pay me. I don't know, but I don't blame him. I'd be screaming at those people too. Add real estate agents into that slimy mix. Yeah, they're not quite the same, but yeah. Any sales business like that really is super cutthroat, super slimy.
Hook, y'all remember this, right? And he got banned from YouTube and he got banned from everywhere. And he jumped over to Rumble and he kind of stayed on Rumble a little bit. Now he's kind of coming back to X and back to YouTube. He's making a resurgence. And with the resurgence, he's coming back after Candace. All this matters. Why? Because what we kind of have a little bit of a suspicion about is that there was a direct plan to try and get Candace to the top cream of the crop.
Milo loves the spotlight. Well, yeah, Milo's, yeah, come on. It's Milo. Of course he loves the spotlight. I don't even dislike Milo. Like, I don't take anything that dude says serious. Like, if he makes a post and if it's not funny, I just scroll past it. Right? But every now and then, Milo says some funny shit. But anybody taking Milo seriously, that's on you. Don't do that. Don't take anything Milo says seriously. All he's doing is going for attention. That's it. That's all he's ever done. Milo is not a serious person.
Replaced Alex in the conspiracy zone so that she can do eventually what she's been doing, which is driving the narrative of everything crazy. Kind of like Alex used to do. Now, Alex finds problems with that, so now he's coming back after her to try and regain the crown of Conspiracy King. That's not working out too well for him because by now, Candace has a lot more traction and times have changed with the internet. If you look at if the father had a hand in it, then did Candace know that her father had a hand in Sandy Hook? And if he did have a hand and she did know, did she run cover by trying to do as many conspiracy theories as she could back in the day and do a popularity contest with Charlie?
Milo is Greek and he converted to Roman Catholic in 2021 and is a member of SSPX like Candace. Guys, I'm calling him a Jew as a joke. I'm not serious. I think he might be though. No, and listen, Milo, like, you know what I mean? That's between Milo and God, right? I hope that he truly did find Christ. Can't tell, but I hope he did. Or does.
Kirk. Secondarily, did Charlie Kirk find out about something that happened at Sandy Hook and found out that she had something to do with it, and that was the actual reason for them falling out, not this elevator story about him having a meeting with somebody about money? Now, if that did happen, and I said if, this is the conspiracy section now, if that did happen.
Michael Copy says Jew troll on Milo is perfect. I mean, he's got like, right? Seems a little he seems a little Jewy at times. No? Is that bad? I hope everybody's got a sense of humor in here. If not, gonna be rough.
And Charlie did indeed find out that Candace Owens and her father had something to do with Sandy Hook.
So sorry, I just seen this. Sorry, I'm a little behind. Geopolitics is bipolar. Yeah, to say the least. Geopolitics is bipolar. That's a nice like PG way to put it. I like that.
And he got wind of it, fired her over it, and then her mission became, if he were to ever try to expose this, I'd be done. Could it have been that Candace Owens might have had a hand in the removal of Charlie Kirk? Now, the other conspiracy, which is a little bit further down the road and a little bit more off the beaten path that many might have issue with, I will just hint at it for you. If then there is a alternate universe where
Summer Breeze 12 sends in a $5 super chat. Candace is so jealous of Charlie, Erica, and TPUSA. She has lost it. She is totally trying to destroy TPUSA. She's definitely trying to capture as many of TPUSA's audience as she can and doing whatever it is that she needs to do it. Yeah, it's gross. It's gross. DDS Allen came in with a $50 super chat. I have learned so much from you, Bronson, Jay Witt, Gary, and especially from all the chats. Okay. First of all, let me just say thank you very much for that super chat. That is awesome. If you did not mean to send that much, let me know, and I will definitely figure out a way to refund that. Might take me a minute, but I'll figure it out. If you did intend to send that much, that's too much, unless you're super well off, in which case, give more. But no, seriously, like, I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I appreciate that. That's incredible that you just super chatted $50. I really, truly hope that you can afford that, because if you can't, just hit me up and we can work that out. All right. I know times are tight. It looks like gas is probably going to be going up here again. So, but thank you. That's, I don't know. That's really awesome. Not that anybody else sending in smaller super chats is any, that just took, I don't even know what to say. That just grabbed me off guard, caught me off guard, threw me off guard. See, now I can't even talk. I absolutely meant to send it. Okay. Well, anyway, thank you. Thank you very much. And like I said, if you can't afford that, you just let me know. You don't have to do it publicly. You just hit me up, DM me, let me know. We'll get that straightened out. If not, thank you. Way to derail the entire flow here, by the way. DDS Allen.
Somehow, some way, that there's more than one person at play in the conspiracy when it comes to Charlie Kirk being erased. And say that Candace is on a path of trying to implicate his wife into it. Could it be that there are people on both sides working together for the same narrative because they both have links to the same state, Arizona? Because the father also operated, Candace's father, also operated a bunch of money-making schemes in Arizona as well, Phoenix to be exact. And that goes from everything from real estate to money management to land management to security. The same, oddly enough, the same things that she's now accusing Erica and Erica's ilk of having dabbled in, history in, and running racket around. So the conspiracy lies with two different ways. One of them you're going to get mad at me for suggesting, but like I said, conspiracy.
Amy says Bronson is thinking about the industrial-sized Jiffy he can buy with that. No, it's Jif or Skippy. I don't think. Are you doing that on purpose with the Jiffy thing? I don't think that's a thing, right? Isn't that one of the Mandela effect things? I think it's Jif. Choosy moms choose Jif or Skippy. There's also like awesome, crazy, weird natural peanut butter off brands, which are super awesome. But every once in a while, I do like the incredibly unhealthy Skippy or Jif peanut butters because they're just so creamy. They're so creamy. But I mean, now I wasn't, but now I'm definitely thinking about peanut butter.
And the other,
So I wasn't thinking about anything other than this has to be, something's wrong. This can't be right.
the one you'll be like, that's definitely it. So I'm going to play both sides. Could it be that both sides are playing the same cards for the same motives? And I do mean Erica and Candace. And that's the one you're going to get mad at me. But remember, I said this is conspiracy, conjecture, not fact. Secondarily, the other conspiracy.
Did you already watch Josh Carr? Yes, we did. It's only like a 20-something minute video. But he's got more coming next week. I get it. I'm still a little upset that he did that though. He couldn't just drop it all out, man. Come on. But I get it. Yes, we already watched it. If you want to go back and watch, you sure can, or I will just tell you that it was interesting. I'm assuming you probably already saw it though, right? But it was interesting. I didn't hate it. And he left some cliffhangers in there, which I want to know. So that's going to drive me a little nuts for a few days. But other than that, it was good.
Is that the reason that Candace is pointing to Erica for having these links is because she herself has those links. And what she's saying about Erica is actually about her. But in order to deflect from it and to blame it on somebody else, she chose Erica because she does have ties in Arizona. Again, there's lots of things that you can say that we might be wrong about. But we're not saying we have tangible facts about this in terms of the connections. What we do have is information about Candace's father from somebody other than us that you can say we fabricated.
Benjamin, I'm broke. Come on, man. Make me feel cheap. My bad, dude. I did not. I'm going to go over that again. Like super chats. It is what it is, guys. It just is what it is. I'm not one of those dudes who's going to get on the internet talking on videos and like talking about you need to send in super chats. If you guys want to, that's awesome. But if you don't, like, it's like, that's okay too. You know what I mean? It's not where I do these because it's way more entertaining to actually communicate with you guys than to just like drop a video and then go through. And I read all comments, guys. So it's like, I just, just is what it is, just the way I am. Well, okay. So she says, sorry for being bitchy, but I wish he would dive deeper. I'm guessing that he probably will a little. I don't know how deep he can go. Like, I don't know what kind of connections he has. I don't know how much stuff you can really. I wish the people that were close to Candace and have known her over these last 8, 9 years, 7, 8 years, however long it's been, I wish they would come out and spill some beans, but no. Oh no, the people that we're supposed to trust and listen to, all the big political influencers on the right, where they just mum's the word. That's the expression? They're just not talking. So instead we got to have like people like Josh Carr try to find like these pussies need to grab their balls and just handle business and put an end to this crap so we can find better people to put in those places. Seriously.
Again, Ian Carroll came across the same information. So if you're going to get mad, you Candyites, if you're going to get mad at me, don't.
R coming H71. It's my first time here and I love your viewpoint on the topic. Welcome. Welcome here. I have a tendency to pause videos like really often to a point where I start getting confused, just a heads up, to where I'm not sure where I'm at in a video. So that's a very common thing for me just because I like engaging with my chat a lot, probably more than I should. Like I should probably try to stay more focused on the content itself, but I just can't. Jack Craig. Okay, Bronson, you can stop panicking. I'm here now. Well, it's about time you show up. It's about time. Oh, this is a conversation. I'm going to read it anyway. So he's talking to Whitley Farms. Fingers crossed. Funny thing here in ND, we pump our own oil and refine our own. Doesn't leave state for us. Still goes up. Amazing how that works, isn't it? Amazing how that works. Isn't it a different type of oil though? It's not oil used for gasoline. Isn't that a wish I knew more about oil? Is there's like crude and then there's like something else that's used for other things but not gas? So that could be why. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Or if I'm right, tell me I'm right. Pretty rare, but I really like being right sometimes. Okay, back to the video.
All the way mad at me. Also get mad at your girl's boy, Ian. All right, get mad at him too, because he's also put it out there out of his own mouth, not just me. So the question now remains this: are we at a stalemate because we'll never get to the bottom of it unless we listen to the court documents and cases when it comes to?
Just choking on nothing again. And voices, I appreciate your interaction with us. Not as much as I appreciate it. I guarantee you.
Mr. Tyler Robinson. Again, remember that Candace is trying to debunk the idea that he had anything to do with it. She's also trying to tell you that Erica forgave him too quickly, and the reason she forgave him too quickly was because she's in on it as well. She's trying to get Tyler Robinson off in order to place the blame on somebody else. And now the first conspiracy theory, and the other side is also telling you that I forgive Tyler Robinson. So far, the one that's winning.
So this guy's going he's going pretty deep into like opposite conspiracy area here, which is fun, which is kind of fun. I don't hate it.
Tyler Robinson. He's the only one.
I thought about it like just as an entertaining thing to come up with some conspiracy ideas as to how it could be that Candace was involved in some way, shape, or form. But there's something about, because I know I don't believe Candace is involved in any way, shape, or form. So I know I would be being like, whatever word you want to use there. So it's not going to happen. But I've definitely thought about it. Like the, you know what I mean? This side of the shoulder guy has whispered it. And I was like, no, I don't know. No.
Winning in this so far. But if we were to follow the Fed's case, it's a cut and dry, straightforward, straight shooter, to say the least, no pun intended, in terms of the case. He was there. He admitted to it in 4 different methods, and the father turned him in. if you were to look at it by fact, Tyler Robinson did it. Both sides are saying, well, yes. One side saying it more that Tyler did it. One side, Tyler couldn't have never done it because Erica would have done that did it. TPUSA is the one that did it. Netanyahu is the one that did it. Egyptian Plains did it. Israel did it. French did it. You get my point. So overall, what we've come to is this. Ignoring the latter conspiracy theory that might...
So you got a blueberry pie in the oven and hubby's home for a week. Spoil him. Spoil him. Do all the good things. All the good things. Whatever he wants.
Include both of them. We're going to harp on the one that is Candace. If her father was capable, was capable of being a security agent during the time of a tragedy the size of Sandy Hook, could he have had a hand? Remember the whole base in Arizona where Mitch said he saw so and so and so. What if that meeting did indeed take place and the person that was actually present was Candace's father? What if the actual reason she wants to get Mr. Robinson off the hook is because she was trying to make the scapegoat somebody else and get Tyler off because she knew that he actually did it? And if he does...
I'm going to butcher this name. I've been avoiding saying it. You're going to have somebody help me out with how to Seifa FIFA. I just feel stupid even trying. So if I look, you're welcome, I guess. You're not right. You're all right. Yeah. I mean, I'll take it. I'll take it. I would like to be right sometimes, though.
Go to prison, and he does.
My ego would appreciate it.
If she doesn't pollute the waters, he could scream and squeal and tell the whole thing. Again, conspiracy. Because if I'm going to do, like I said at the top of the show, if I'm going to be very envious of the way she does investigations, then I have to break it down the way she does her investigations. Everything is by proxy. So if by proxy your father is in security, and by proxy there was a natural event that happened that killed a lot of people, and by proxy the same event kind of happened with Sandy, with the Utah State University. It wasn't a school campus. It was security issues. And she's blaming the security issues on other people. And now she's saying that there was a meeting in Arizona where her father did a lot of business. I could make a bunch of triangulations and say, maybe, just maybe, she's deflecting. And the real persons that were behind this was not actually TPUSA, not Erica Kirk.
Old mean lady. If you remember in Trump's first term, when he got oil down to almost zero, ND stopped completely, waited until price went up. When it comes to oil refinery and stuff, like they have to be at a certain, like the barrel price has to be at a certain amount to, or some of these refineries don't even make money. They like end up losing money if it falls below a certain price. I don't know what that price is, but they'll just completely shut down. I don't think that's only just, I'm pretty sure there's a few refineries that do that. And I don't know if that was just because of whatever the cost of operation, obviously, but has to be at a certain price or they will just shut down.
Kirk, but rather her and her father, because Charlie may have stumbled across the information about her father having a hand in Sandy Hook. Now remember, Alex Jones was really good friends with Charlie Kirk, not enemies at all. Could it be that there was information somewhere, somehow, transferred along the route lines to tell Charlie, yo, this is what happened. Cut ties, run. Again, if y'all believe it, y'all believe it. I'm just presenting to you what other people have also found that we heard through the grapevine, speculatory stuff. And that when we told you before that it was very difficult to find information, now we know possibly why. Because a lot of his information has been removed from the internet, oddly enough. The page that she found, no longer there. His LinkedIn is gone. Facebook page, gone. All public records about this man seems to have just gone poof. Even when you look at Wikipedia, his name is there, not highlighted. So in other words, you can't even click on that to get to who he actually was. You can go to these random sites that tell you some things about him. Oddly enough, they all reflect the same thing about his net worth, $400,000. Now, if we were to believe the running story that Candace tells you, that he was just a hard laborer, that man knows how to, man, I wish I could labor that hard. If menial labor can give me 400K as a net worth, sign me. I don't care if my body could be broken. Sign me up. You telling me odd jobs, one or two jobs, odd jobs will get me 400K? Negro, please give me what I'm wanting in. I want in. I will do how many jobs? 4 or 5. I will do all of them. If I got to work 900 hours a week, it's not even human. I'm gonna do it. 400K. So if the going rate is 400K a year, then I have to believe the prior findings that he did indeed dabble in finance, he did indeed dabble in security, and he did it.
Well, I mean, to be fair, that's not really how net worth works. Like, not, you know what I mean? You could have purchased a house 20 years ago for, I don't know, 100,000, and it's worth 350 to 400 now, or whatever the case is, and all of a sudden overnight you almost have a net worth of about 400,000. So that's, I mean, that's really not, I don't, unless I miss something, I don't think that he's making 400K a year.
Indeed dabble in land and resources. And if that's the case, it almost mirrors the same things that she's talking about. The other side have ties to. So how do you come across this kind of information and not run it down the so-called rabbit hole? Well, we did. And we are at the conclusion right now that there is far too many discrepancies in her stories, the way she's trying to link everybody. You know how you can find these.
I rule 2530. Love that more and more people are doing a deep dive on her. Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I'm glad people are putting in the work. That sounds so just not fun to do. You know what I mean? Like, bless these people for doing this stuff. That does not sound fun. I don't like I wouldn't want to just sit around and look up as much information about Candace Owens as I could possibly find. But like I said earlier, it'd be really nice if these people that have known Candace for all of these years and know how not good of a person she is would just come out and spill the beans already. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Enough. Enough is enough. Clearly the train has left the station here. You know, Candace isn't going to have she's not going to have a come to Jesus moment. She's off the rails. She's gone. So let's go before she creates something that can't be stopped. You know what I mean?
These little flaws that she's, and she keeps lying about stuff and she can't keep track of her story. We believe the reason she can't keep track of the story is because she's trying to copy her story on top of somebody else. And in order to make it match, she has to add too many moving pieces. And the moving pieces keep moving too fast for her to keep up with her story, which is why it keeps changing. And she keeps adding these extra things to make the rest.
Bronson, North Dakota oil used for lubricants, etc., AC refrigerant, lube, etc., electrical cooling. Yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't think that it was crude, or if that's what not. I don't even know. I didn't think it was the you know, the stuff that they turn into gasoline. But I wasn't sure.
Work. Now, the people that follow her love it because to them, wow, that makes sense, because they're not looking into Candace Owens. They don't want to know about Candace Owens. They just love her. In fact, so many of them love her so much they worship the ground she walks on. She is the truth. And that's exactly, I think, the plot, the plan, and the purpose.
Kind of like Candace is it's the same with any of these people. They're saying the things that those people want to hear. They're their voice. They're saying the things that they want to hear, that they want to say, but don't have the same reach. That's it. Maybe, I don't know. It's hard for me to watch a Candace show and to come to a conclusion that people are learning anything. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm saying that right. As from where I'm sitting with the brain that I have, it's hard for me to watch a Candace episode and go, "Oh, these people are learning something." I don't know what they're learning. That Erica Kirk isn't Jesus. Like, I mean, I could have told you that. Anybody could have told him that. Nobody was claiming she is. So what are they learning? They already have, you know what I mean? They already are, they were already before because you guys remember this if you've been watching Candace's stuff, which I'm sorry about, by the way, these past few months, is Candace, like there was even a point where Candace was basically sort of yelling at her audience because her audience was coming at her really hard to call Erica out. And she even said, what am I supposed to call Erica out for? She hasn't lied. I haven't caught her in a lie yet. Now that I'm thinking about this, there's a problem with that. Because all Candace had to do is do what she's doing now. She could have found a lie if she wanted to, right? And maybe she did. Maybe she was already aware. Maybe Candace already had this planned out. And I haven't, Mama Owl, I believe it was you, if you're still here, sent me some information that I haven't shared yet. I haven't put this out because I don't know if there's any way that I can confirm it. Okay. But there were certain clips that Candace has used in this investigative series, right? The snippets of articles from newspapers from a long time ago, right? I'm pretty sure it was Mama Owl. If it wasn't, I'll correct it at some point to say who it was. But they went through Ancestry to, I think it links, I'm totally saying this wrong, but you'll get the gist of it. Ancestry.com links to like this other place where you can go through archive news articles, okay? And it shows whenever a news article or anything is clipped, it shows the date, the very first time that it was clipped. And some of those articles that Candace shared on her series were clipped like September 13th, 3 days, September 12th or the 13th, just a couple of days after Charlie was unalived, clipped. Okay, that means that I think it just means they were screenshotted and it keeps a record of when it was first clipped. Some of them were in November. So, can't confirm anything that it was Candace. However, I haven't seen anybody, like these are obscure clippings, like stuff about Erica's family, right? Obituaries, a few of the other things. Like who would be doing that 2 or 3 days after Charlie Kirk was unalived, right? And I haven't seen anybody share these. The only person I ever saw share these was Candace Owens in her investigative series. Now, whether or not Candace is going through and doing that, or if it's somebody on Candace's team, or if it's somebody outside of Candace but connected to Candace, was already looking into this stuff 3 days after 9/10, looking for dirt on Erica Kirk. I mean, I guess I just kind of shared it, but it's interesting. I might have to go through that. I don't know if anybody else has talked about that. I don't know if I'm the only one that like I said, I think it was Mama Owl, but not sure if I'm the only one she sent it to or not. The only reason I haven't put it out is because I don't know how to confirm that other than speculation, but it is interesting that those things were clipped on those dates. So back to my original point, Candace wasn't attacking Erica Kirk yet, and her audience was pushing her to do so to the point where she's going, I haven't found a lie yet. I don't have anything to attack her on. I don't have anything to attack her on. So the audience, so what are they learning from Candace Owens? They're already at the conclusion that Erica Kirk is the one who's is at least involved in some way, if not full on responsible. That's where her audience is already at.
In order to sell a lie, you have to come across as the ultimate truth giver. And that's what she's done. She's been very successful in doing so. But like I said, if our theory has any water, or at least the kinds of water that she carries,
The implication that it may very well may have been Candace or somebody on Candace's team clipping those things 2 or 3 days after what happened on 9/10 about Erica. The implication that is a sketchy and scary. That means she's been planning this the entire time. So you maybe now it would be even weirder if it had been before 9/10. It'd be way weirder, right? Maybe they had just found it, but they hadn't clipped it yet. Right? They just because they know it would show the date of when it's clipped. But that would have been that we would have had a serious issue then had those dates been prior to 9/10. Because now the implication with that is Candace, did you know something was going to happen on 9/10? The fact that those were clipped 2 or 3 days after, you could still almost be like, what's going on here? Somebody might have known something. Somebody. It just so happens these are the ones that she's sharing in her investigative series on Erica Kirk. What's going on, Candace?
Then people need to start asking those questions of her. Did her father have a hand in Sandy Hook? That's the first question. Second question, did your father, while working in Arizona, have any meetings about Charlie Kirk?
If anybody had the like Ian, that wouldn't surprise me. Not saying he did, but that wouldn't surprise me at all. Ian Carroll knows, you know what I mean? Ian Carroll knows what he's doing. Would not that dude knows how to look stuff up. You know what I mean? Wouldn't surprise me at all.
Because maybe your daughter was hurt by him, or your daughter found your daughter's friend found out about your doings at Sandy Hook, and y'all couldn't have that exposed because you already pegged somebody else to take the fall for that. Could it be? And those are questions. We're just asking questions. Remember?
Candace, I'm just asking questions. Why are these things clipped 2 or 3 days right after 9/10 happens? And then you just happen to be sharing them in your investigative series 6 months later? Why were some of these things clipped in early as November? Just asking questions, Candace. Just asking questions.
Just asking questions. People can hate us, but we're just asking questions. This is how investigations are done. You can make your own decisions about it, but from what we can see, there is enough there to pursue this further. And trust and believe we will, including the original conspiracy theory that y'all may not like. This is both sides, after all. There may be some merit somewhere on it. I'm not saying a whole lot.
Or it could have been her crazy audience clipping and pushing for the takedown. It could have been. It could have been. However, the first couple of days, it was Israel. That's where her audience was. That's where Ian was. It was either the same day or the very next day. That's where Ian was. So the fact that those were clipped, I think it was either the 12th or the 13th, makes me think it wasn't. Does that make sense? But it could have been.
But there might be some. And we are going to look into the entire gamut of it. I myself am leaning more towards I'm hiding my doings.
That was, and I'm just to be completely transparent. There's another reason I haven't gone into this is because I haven't spent enough time on the site that she pointed me to go through and really learn what those dates mean, what that actually means. As far as I know, is that the date shows when that was first looked up and clipped. Because I don't if you were to clip it again or something, right? It would still have the date that it was first clipped, I believe. And I could be wrong. But that's another reason I haven't gone into this or down this rabbit hole yet, is because I just don't know enough about how that works. But I think I'm going to get there. This between this guy's stuff and what I just watched, it has me a little bit more curious now. Has me a little bit more curious. Now, I'm not saying like the conspiracy stuff with Candace isn't, but that, like, the implications of that are I mean, let's be real, that's pretty wild. So either she's planning the attack on Erica Kirk right away, somebody in her circle is planning the attack on Erica Kirk right away, or something as crazy as Candace had foreknowledge of 910, so much so to the point that she knew she was going to have to push and fabricate a story to get attention away and point it towards somebody else. I mean, we're going a little off the rails with that one, right? Because if that were the case, why wouldn't Tyler Robinson just say something or have said something? Unless there's like some deal, right? This is speculation and entertainment purposes only. This is not serious in any way, shape, or form. Unless there's some crazy deal with George Farmer to where he's going to set the family up forever and Tyler Robinson's a loser and wasn't going anywhere in life. So he figured, I can take care of my family forever. And all I got, I mean, we could use that one too with the Israel thing. So we'll just be careful. The clippings are weird. They're interesting. So when I find more about that stuff, I will let you know. And it could be like way off. I could be getting I was going to say honeypotted, but that's not the correct expression for that. I could be getting hoodwinked. I could be getting bamboozled here, guys. It's very possible. I get a lot of emails, and most of the stuff I get really nervous about because I don't know the intentions or the agenda of people. So this is the first email that I've gotten that I've ever talked about just because of those dates and what that could mean. It's very interesting to me, but I don't know enough about it. I'll leave it at that.
In somebody else's life, the Candace that is hiding her life in Erica's life. It explains her jealousy. It explains her anger over the girls and why she can't have one. The fact that Charlie was going to.
Nikki says, I just feel like the clippings are suspicious. It's suspicious in which way? Suspicious in the fact that those dates are what they are, or the fact that, because I'm pretty sure I can just go to this site. It's a subscription. Like, you have to pay for it, right? But I'm pretty sure I could just go to the site and pull these up myself. You know what I mean? Mama Owl I'm pretty sure it's Mama Owl. I don't know why I don't know if it's 100% Mama Owl, but I believe that's who it was. Okay. I could just go to the site, pay for it myself. That's all she did, and was looking through this and found this. So I could go and pay for it, and I'm sure I would see the same things. This, you know what I mean? She just sent me screenshots of them, but I'm sure I would see the exact same things that she sent me. But I don't know what it means. I don't know if it shows, like, if there's an account that they're linked to, maybe. Old Mean Lady at Rage Bronson, what's your email? It is fake, Fake, ragebronson@gmail.com. But so I don't, like, suspicious in what way? I mean, it's kind of suspicious in both ways, to be honest with you.
Marry her, testing on dresses and all that stuff. All that seems to make more sense now, because I think at the end of it, you're looking at a broken woman, a bitter woman that didn't.
Ramza, who is TR? I'm assuming that's a question to somebody in the chat. TR is most likely Tyler Robinson, just abbreviated, like Charlie Kirk, CK. A lot of people, it's less typing, you know what I mean?
Get what she wanted. She thought she was going to get it. Then the person that she thought she was going to get it from found out something about her past, and she couldn't have that because she was making too much money. And then she decided, okay, fine, I can kill two birds with one stone, literally.
Hey, man, we're all stupid sometimes. Some of us, a lot of the times, but sometimes for sure.
I'll kill the first bird with one stone, and then the same stone, I'll pick that up and now throw it at the wife. Hey, reality is stranger in fiction. Her words, not mine. Wow. Anyway, we were quite surprised to come across this bit of information, but we thought we'd pass it on.
Or lady instead of man. Not sure. Some of the names and the pictures, it's really confusing, guys. It's really confusing. So if I misgender you, I apologize. As long as one of those genders is either male or female. If you're somebody who's on, I don't apologize. Oops, YouTube. I'm kidding, YouTube.
And you can do with it as you will. You can be speculative, you can believe it, you can do your own research. This is what we really advise you doing. Look at it yourself. Go see if you can find this information based on what these people are presenting. We're kind of halfway down this rabbit hole right now, and what we're finding gives us some unease, a lot of pause. And the unfortunate reality is that we also are aware that we may never find out the truth about why and how things have gone down. In fact, even after the case is closed, and maybe that, Mr. Robinson has been sent to jail for life or given the chair or whatever it is, we may still never know. Because if they're building this house of cards the way they are, they might be using some fairly strong glue, enough to where you blow, it won't fall. But we know it's a house of cards. That could be the situation. But we're going to try our darndest to see if we can figure this out. Because while everybody else is so polarized in this, we don't want to be polarized. Polarization is where you get into trouble. If you become so fixated on one thing, you miss everything. If you drive this way, you're going to get into accidents. You ever try driving and just focus on one thing, like say a license plate in front of you? You're going to miss everything in your periphery. We are not like that. We want to drive and keep track of all the idiots on the road. From any angle, if you being stupid driving, we gonna catch you. And sometimes people don't like that. And that's okay. We're not here to be liked. We're here to be appreciated for the fact that we bring something that no one else is going to do, which is a fresh perspective from the middle ground.
Cloudy PDX. No infinite. No. This is not an infinite gender zone. There are two.
We're not going to be polarized, and no one's going to force us into polarization. We're going to have opposing views to you sometimes, and all we're asking you to do is to listen long enough and actually see if what we're saying is so disagreeable that you have to hate us. Or you can look at it and say, that's a point of view I never thought of before. I'll take a look at it, and you can still disagree. Disagreeing cordially is what we advise. Because if you disagree and you just come viscerally at us, it probably tells us that you probably didn't actually follow.
Nikki, crazy you even have to say that. Yeah, it's fun to say though. So, even if it wasn't crazy to say it, still fun to say. But the fact that it's crazy to say it or have to say it kind of makes it even more fun to say it.
Any of the information we said, you just hated it because it went against what you believe. And that's okay too. It is, because you have a free right to do so. We're just asking you to be a little more analytical in your approach when you listen to the things we say. Because whether you believe it or not, we are not trying to go after anybody's jugular just because. We are trying to get to the bottom of things, and the best way to do it is to have a robust look at a topic. Candace Owens, however, has not been delved into enough, we believe. Everybody else's life around her has been scrutinized to the cut nail, the quick. She somehow has been avoided popular scrutiny. And when you do try to scrutinize, the amount of followers that come for you is insane. What they don't realize is that we don't fall prey to pressure. In fact, we're like diamonds. The more pressure you put us under, the brighter we gonna shine, and the more expensive we'll become. So, with that being said, take a look at the information. You make your own decisions about it. Speculate as much as you can. But again, we will be running this down as far as we can go and see if there's any truth to what everyone else is saying about her father and her family, the same way that she did with Erica and everybody else. Because at the end of the day, the truth is what really matters. And sometimes the truth might be we will never know. And that might be where we are, but we still don't know that yet. So we look forward to your commentary. Please leave them down below. And when you do have an option to tell us exactly how you feel, or if you have an info that you want to hand off to us, feel free to hit us up. You might know something that you can come on, like right on the camera and tell us everything you know. We'll be obliged to have that too. But in the meantime, in between time, as the great Corey Fair says, wake up before you go to sleep.
Oh no! Oh no! I'm gonna get hit. This music, people with these musics. Okay, so I mean that was entertaining. That was interesting. I don't know. So was he in charge of the security? Did he work for the security company? I guess I might have missed some of that stuff. It's interesting. It's definitely interesting. It's weird that there would be a connection there at all, period. Like what are the odds, right? What are the odds that, I mean, I don't want to say there's like a ton of school shootings or anything, but it's not like there's too many, right? There's way too many. By the way, Second Amendment absolutist. So Second Amendment, I think grenades would be cool. But like that's like, what are the odds that Candace Owens' father would have ties to Sandy Hook at all? And that's weird. That's super weird. I don't know if that means anything, but it's definitely weird. In charge of contracts, including security. Okay, contracts. Was it construction? Is that what it was? Sorry, guys. I was so focused on the chat that most of that section I caught bits and pieces of. Eclipse Truth. I think her name is Tamara. Yes, Tamara. She was awesome. I caught some of that before I went live on Gary's show. Tamara's awesome. Tamara's legit. That is like a legit good human being. Really like finding all of these really good people, like good human beings. It's kind of who I try to find now in my life is good people. I've had my fill of not so good people to the point to where like I see that was the biggest thing with these conspiracy theories. It's like I'm just so tired of not good people. I spent such a large portion of my life surrounded by not good people. In fact, I mean, I would say I was a not good person too, right? But I like now when I see it like I hate it. I hate it. More than anything is people intentionally being not good people. And it's even worse when they're doing it and pretending like what they're doing is somehow good. That's even worse. Like be a bad person, but just, you know what I mean? Admit you're a bad person, or at least just don't try to hide that fact. But to be a bad person, do bad things, and then pretend like what you're doing is a good thing. That's when I guess I start making YouTube videos. Soon as I seen these conspiracies, it was like, no. For one, I was already upset with the fact that of all, and I've talked about this before, but of all the talking heads, right? Of all the people I don't want this to happen to anybody. Let me be very clear about that. But of all the talking heads, Charlie's the one that gets it. Like name in that space, name a better human being than Charlie Kirk. Good luck. And that's the one that got it? Like no. And now we're going to spread conspiracy bullcrap and potentially jeopardize the one who actually did the thing to Charlie. Like he could get away with it? No. Okay. Now, no. It's one thing if it's not. Okay. I don't want to say that. All right. I don't want to say that. There's definitely some other people that wouldn't have heard as much. I'll say that. I'll be honest with that. Okay. But they got the good one. and then they're going to spread conspiracies about it. And now we're going to go as far as to completely try to destroy his wife and his like, no. Nope. That's when I start making YouTube videos. And that's when I start pushing back. And now it's to the point to where I just try to make fun of these people because there's really nothing else to do. Most of them are lost causes. M. Saunders sent in a $5 super chat. Bronson, did you, Hassan Piker, expose that Candace Owens YouTube chat is all bots? Yeah, I saw that. So here's the problem with YouTube, especially live chats, is I've seen, and I've done this, okay, to where somebody could have it pulled up and their chat, for whatever reason, it's not like displaying the same thing as my chat does. I'm not saying that's what's happening here. I did see where a bunch of his viewers basically went into her chat and were just chatting fa, right? And that was scrolling and showing up. But I wish I was watching it at the same time because I've seen it to where, so X did this, XQC. I don't know if you guys have any idea who that is, but he had pulled up a video. Okay. And it was the same time that I was watching, I think it was Burnt Peanut. Okay. And like Burnt Peanut's chat, I think it was Burnt Peanut or it was Candace. I don't remember, but like on what he was showing, like the chat like froze up, but the chat was moving. The chat was going. So I don't know, like that very well could just be a weird thing on the back end at YouTube. But I did see that, and it's definitely interesting. Definitely interesting. Also with Candace's audience, like I'm guessing the age range of her audience, not that this is defending her botting because she probably does, and she might not even be doing it, guys. There might be other people like all the big streamers get botted from people all the time. Okay, so it might not even be her. There's definitely people interested in making it appear that Candace has a giant audience, okay? However, they seem to have taken time off because the views she's getting on this thing are dropping like crazy. What was the point I was going to make? Oh, yeah, her audience. Like I would think a good chunk of her audience isn't even in the chat. They're watching from their TVs. So they're not even like with the chat. You know what I'm saying? Just my guess on where the age range of her audience. But yeah, I see that. It was pretty funny too. Like, I don't know why Hassan is like trying to go at Candace Owens. He's basically doing a better job of destroying the right than he could ever do. But for whatever reason, he's probably just jealous. Hassan's just jealous that Candace is pulling. Like all those dudes they're weird. They're so weird. And Sims. Plus he's a dog abuser. Allegedly. Zaps his dog. I haven't seen I don't watch his stuff, but the clips I see of him every once in a while, his dog's not in the background anymore very much, is he? Weird. Probably just went to a place where a lot of people in chat have no idea what we're talking about. I rule. How much has her views dropped? Well, I'm pretty sure like the first one, she got like four some million on that thing. And I don't know if like the most current ones are even breaking the 2 million. But that doesn't surprise me at all. Like you watch the first two and you go, oh, okay, I can see where this is going. This is boring. I'll just, catch the clips on it or something or see what they're saying on Twitter. Like it doesn't surprise me because it's not good. It's not good content. Shelly Belly. It's not alleged. He did it. Yeah, I know. I know. Oh no, what is this? I missed it. Missed the conversation there. 100%. Okay, not for entertainment purposes only, YouTube. But yeah, I don't know. Like, if Milo's going on about it, you know what I mean? Same thing with Fuentes. Little old Nick. Little old Nicky boy. Little old Chicago Nicky boy. Speaking of Nick Fuentes, this is going to be such a dorky thing to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events movie with Jim Carrey. But when Jim Carrey, he plays the Italian assistant for, it's been so long since I've seen this, but he plays the Italian assistant for the old guy with the beard, the gray hair. The way he talks is exactly how Nick Fuentes talks. Pull that up if you guys want a little laugh. Benjamin, the only good Twitch streamer is the Roach King. No, burnt peanut is goat. Burnt peanut's goat. Makes sense. He strikes me as very feminine for a man, even a British one. Yeah, them Brits. Those Brits, let me tell you. Those Brits. Not all of them. Not all of them. Not all of them. They do get to use the C word, though, a lot, which I'm a little jealous of. I wish we had that here to where it didn't mean what it means here. It's a really good word. Australia, too. They get to use that. I know a couple Aussies. I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous that they just get to spew that all the time. And it's like, most of the time, it's like a term of endearment. I wish we had that here. We got to be so... We got all the wrong. Those are such good words. Maybe, you know what? If we could say it and it did mean what it means for that, like maybe it wouldn't be as good. I don't know. I wish we had that word, because it's such a good word. I might offend some of you too, but I'm gonna say it anyway. The F word and not the uck one, the other F word. That's a great word too. It's such a strong word. And I wish that it had a different meaning. Like, I mean, most of the time people that use it don't mean what it like everybody thinks it means, right? It's just a more pleasant way of saying fucker most of the time. But I wish we could get that one back, because that's a fun one to say too. I don't know where this is going, guys. We're going off into a weird area of the internet here as far as what we did get retard back though, which is like pretty legit. I'm pretty happy about that, because I love that word. You know what I mean? And I've never used that to describe anybody who has any type of like mental disabilities. It's more for just normal people who are stupid. I mean, it's really, that's what it's for. Is there anything else? Any other good content out there that I should pull up and watch that's not like 3 hours long? Open it up to you guys. Any recommendations? It's got to be good though. Don't make me watch something boring. Yo, it was like a really late night one night, right? And I had Twitch open for whatever reason, and Twitch recommended me, oh, what's his name? I think it's like Matashi or something. I think he's a gamer. I'm not sure. I only watched him the one time, but I pulled it up and it was German. He was speaking German, right? And his whole chat was not English. So I was like, I'm gonna hit a follow. He had really good energy. So I threw like something in the chat, and all of a sudden the dude started. I'm pretty stupid when it comes to other languages. All right. So I guess I can kind of tell the difference between like German and French and Spanish, right? But you start getting into, it doesn't matter. Anyway, all of a sudden he just starts talking to me in English, obviously with a German accent, right? And then there's other people in his chat that are from different countries, and he just starts talking to them in their language. I was like, what is this? What did I just stumble upon? How come I want to know more languages? I don't have the brain for more languages. There's no way. But he just started, I think he spoke 4 or 5 different languages within like a 15-minute span of that stream. I was like, wow. Did not see that coming. Tectone. Yeah, I like Tectone. I can only take so much of Tectone. But yeah, I mean, he just says what he's thinking. Really, anybody who does that, I appreciate, whether they think the same thing as me or not. But for the most part, I think Tectone, I kind of align with a lot of Tectone's views. So I like it more when, when they think the same way I do. Old mean lady, Kick pays better than Twitch, so all the gamers move there. There's a problem though, is Kick has a really bad stigma between the gambling and just sort of the amount of, they tried to do like the whole free speech thing, and it still has a stigma. It's going to take them a while to get rid of that. Like, this is where all of the bad people go to stream. It's gonna be a while before they're able to really compete. But I don't think they care. With the gambling, they have so much money that if anything, Kick is probably like a good write-off for them. You know what I mean? But yes, I mean, technically Kick does pay better, but as far as like for bigger streamers, the audience and the ad revenue is still really at Twitch and YouTube, I guess. I think Twitch ad revenue wise is still better than YouTube, but I don't know. It's so like, that's so far into a world that I don't care about that it really doesn't. I really don't put much thought into like, oh, where's the best place to stream? I like YouTube. I wish they weren't so. I wish they were a little bit more Second Amendment supportive. Actually, I take that back. I wish they were a whole lot more Second Amendment supportive, and I wish they like eased up on speech. Wish they were a little bit more lax. Like, I can understand not wanting certain things or not allowing certain things, and that whole like, oh, we have to bend to the end. No, that's such a crock. If everybody's doing the same thing, the advertisers aren't going to have a choice. What are they going to not advertise the audiences? Like, no, come on, let's get real here. Did you guys see the SRS with the guest exposing Roblox? Keep your kids off that. Yeah. That's not good. Just get them on, if you have kids and they want a game, just get them on like Arc Raiders or Call of Duty or something. Most people don't even talk in Call of Duty lobbies anymore because they chat ban you so quick if you just say a bad word. I don't even think if you say a bad word, if you just like scream too much, catch a chat ban. But everybody's in Discord anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Save Smiles. I just sent you a video, Bronson. Okay, in an email or? La, da, da. What did you send me? Did you send me a song? Can I play this? Is this bad? Don't know if I can play it, but it's in YouTube. What I'm saying is it copyrighted? All right, listen, I'm just gonna play it. If I get hit with, I'll deal with it. I'll deal. It's not like a huge deal. I just worry about getting striked. Striked is bad. Like if I've had plenty of videos get demonetized, that's just whatever. That's whatever. YouTube has a tendency to just be like, "Oh, this guy again," which is fine. All right, let me see if I can.
If all things are supposed to be believed, and in the words of Candace Owens, life is stranger in.
No, we don't want to watch that again. Okay.
Chanted death to America for decades on the mic, while beating girls, hanging men, massacring the rights. Tens of thousands vanished in your prisons deep. Wives and sons still weeping, but you lost no sleep. Proxy wasn't missiles, resistance was the brand, but missiles flew in faster than your body could stand. You were evil, not the West. Revenge is here, no time to rest. Years of lies and chains now tear on parties in the flames. From Khomeini to you, the same old deadly game, but far finally came.
Got a very Night at the Roxbury kind of vibe to it. Yeah, that was all right. That's kind of catchy. I ain't falling for that okey doke. Kind of catchy. Not gonna lie, kind of makes me want to drop some bombs or something. I don't know. Was this was this funny, or like were they like, this was intentionally just funny, right? This wasn't, they're not like being super serious, or were they being super serious? Sometimes internet humor goes way over my head. Do I have any more emails of videos in here? I just double checked that email. It was Mama Owlbear that sent it to me. So I was correct. Oh, like he has more songs and they're all making fun of Islam. That's aggressive, isn't it? That's aggressive. Because there's like, I think, I'm pretty sure like not all people of that faith are like bad people, right? Funny story. Here we go. Are you guys ready for this? Of course, he's not. He's, I guess he, all right. So, I have, I own a couple of businesses. Okay. And one of my employees, I'm not going to say his name. Okay. But his parents are from Kenya. So he is Kenyan and he is Muslim. And we have fun conversations. Okay. I'll put it that way. But he's like he's super chill. Super chill. He's 23. He's between working for me, but he's also like in the process of becoming a firefighter too, locally here. So it's really cool to see. But like they're not all like it's funny because he's going through Ramadan, right? So right now he's fasting during the day. So if they don't drink, can't drink or anything, right? And I just like I go out of my, it's probably a really fucked up thing to do now that I think about it, but I go out of my way to make sure he's not having a great time. You guys can about imagine, but he's like I don't think he wants to kill me. But he's also not from that area of the world either. And I steadily try to, you know what I mean? I just remind him that, hey bro, Jesus loves you. And kind of waiting for you. He's kind of waiting for you. Plus, check it out. You could drink some water right now. It'd be, and then I'll like slam some. Yeah, I know. It's probably fucked up. It's probably not like the right thing to do at all. But I just, my twisted sense of humor, I just can't help myself. So I don't know. I don't know if you guys have friends of different religions. I also have atheists friends who, that one's a tough one. Good people, but like they don't even realize their entire moral code is pretty much based on the Bible. Like when you guys are not atheists, you don't. I mean, whatever. Like, oh no, it's just the right thing to do. Like, yeah, because that's what humanity's known for, is just doing the right thing. Another weird tangent we're going off on here, guys. Thanks for that. But yeah, I don't. The whole like Islam, like I don't. I think it's just like anything. I think there's good and bad people involved. I don't think. I'm sort of I don't like the idea of anybody making our laws in this country that aren't Christian. I'll put it to you that way. You come here, it's cool. Cool. You want to worship your faith? It's cool. We have a constitution for that. I don't know if I want you making laws. I might go as far as to be like super crazy but that's like, it's unrealistic, but it's like maybe you shouldn't even be able to vote. But no, we got to be careful. Careful what we say. But like I don't, like I said, it's just like anything else. I think there's good ones and there's bad ones. I think there's extremists and there's like the normal ones who are like, crap, I forgot to pray for my 4th time today or whatever it is. Benjamin, have you watched Andrew Wilson debate Dave Smith on morality? I don't know if you're talking to me or to somebody else in the chat, but I'm assuming that's the one that they did a while ago. Yeah, that was a pretty good one. But I'm pretty sure Dave Smith is like Christian now. If I could be wrong, but I think he sort of like slowly but surely kind of made that jump into Christianity, which is cool. It's always exciting to see a Jew become a Christian. So props to Dave Smith. I just wish he would not be such a, I don't know. I don't know what Dave, it is what it is. I'm sure at some point Dave Smith will be saying stuff that I really agree with again here in the future at some point, but right now I feel like he's being a bit of a. No, I'm pretty sure Safe Smiles, I'm not saying like he's a poster child for Christianity or anything. I mean, I'm not, that's for sure, but no, I'm pretty sure he's, cuz I believe is yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's at least said publicly that he's Christian or leaning to Christian. Oh, that's weird. What do you got? Probably not good. My PC just started making really crazy noises. Okay, well, I think we're going to go ahead and end it there because I've got to check and see. My PC has never made noises like that before. So need to check and see what's going on with that. So it's been a great Friday. I hope everybody had somewhat of a good time. That was funny. I'm okay with ending it on that little musical note that we got to watch. But thank you everybody for showing up. Thank you for the super chats. For those of you who did send in the super chat, especially they're all great. Thank you so much for the super chats, guys. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we will probably catch you guys Monday. So everybody be safe. Have a good night, and we'll catch you in the next one.